Even though most players are completely unaware of their embouchure motion, it is a very important part of a player's technique. When working efficiently and in conjunction with proper muscular strength and control, the embouchure motion aids the amount of lip compression and also helps line up the embouchure aperture properly with the airstream. When the embouchure motion is too large, too small, or moving along in the wrong direction for the player, problems can begin to manifest. For the player unaware of his embouchure motion in the first place, these issues can be quite frustrating to troubleshoot, as they often don't appear until later, and the cause and effect relationship between their embouchure motion and the problem is obscured. While exceptions may exist, as a general rule of thumb, the amount of embouchure motion used to ascend a particular interval, such as an octave, should be the same amount of embouchure motion used to descend the same interval from the same starting pitch. This is also true for any accompanying horn angle changes when appropriate for the particular player. The embouchure motion should move along in an imaginary track in a straight line, and not hook off in a different direction. This very high placement type trombonist has a common problem with his embouchure motion. In the extreme ranges, both high and low, many players overdo the amount of motion they need. Watch as he ascends back up from the low octaves, and note how much more motion he uses to get up to the middle octaves compared with ascending to the high octaves. Now watch as he plays down into the pedal range. His embouchure motion is already so far in the descending direction that when he goes down for the pedal B flat, he pulls down too far and misses the note entirely. My own embouchure motion has a similar issue. In my case, I go too far in my descending embouchure motion for the low B flat, so I end up coming back in the opposite direction to descend to the pedal B flat. This reversal of embouchure form makes it more challenging for me in this low register. When I consciously work on minimizing my descending motion, I'm better able to put the low B flat where it should be, and my descending embouchure motion is more consistent from low B flat to pedal B flat. This trumpet player has an embouchure motion reversal that causes more serious difficulties. He plays with a downstream embouchure with more upper lip inside the mouthpiece. Watching him play these low register slurs makes him look like a very high placement type, as he seems to be pushing the mouthpiece and lips up to ascend and pulling them down to descend. When he goes into the upper register, however, he reverses this motion, pulling down to ascend and making him look like a medium-high placement type. His embouchure formation is a little bit too loose, and he collapses his mouth corners to descend, which makes it more challenging to determine which type will work better. By asking him to hold a pitch as steadily as possible while I push and pull his mouthpiece and lips up and down, we can hear that pulling down makes the pitch go sharp, and pushing up makes the pitch go flat, which makes me suspect he should be playing as a medium-high placement type. With some practice firming up his embouchure formation, it could become more apparent which embouchure type will be more appropriate for this player's anatomy, and he will then benefit from making his embouchure motion work consistently the same in all registers. This very high placement trumpet player has some angular deviation to the direction of his embouchure motion. What is difficult to spot with the camera at this particular angle is that while he pushes up and to his right to ascend, his descending embouchure motion hooks back towards the right. As he plays longer, this causes him to work harder and he gets tired quickly. Moving his mouthpiece and lips for him while he holds pitches in various ranges offers clues as to the specific track of his embouchure motion. Listen to how the pitch drops or raises while moving the mouthpiece and lips up, down, and to either side. By correcting the embouchure motion and making it work in a straight line, his playing shows almost immediate improvement and feels easier. In addition to the embouchure motion, many players will also alter their horn angle according to the register being played. Because most players' teeth and gums are curved, angular deviations in the direction of the embouchure motion can affect the best horn angle for a particular pitch. The way the jaw is manipulated when changing registers will also have an effect on the horn angle. Just like the amount of embouchure motion, angle changes seem to work best when they are consistent in the amount between intervals. Looking again at this medium-high placement trumpet player shows that he pulls down and to his right to ascend, and pushes up and to his left to descend. His jaw also protrudes slightly and moves to his left while ascending and does the reverse to descend. His horn angle is fairly static though, and the high C's sound a little pinched and flat. I asked him to try putting a little more mouthpiece weight on one side or another as he changed registers to see what happened. Moving the horn angle towards his left side while ascending still makes the high C sound flat. Moving the horn angle towards his right brings the high C more in tune. Doing the reverse angle changes while descending to low C are even more obvious. Bringing his angle to his left to descend opens the low C up, where bringing the horn angle to his right to descend chokes off the note.